For those who don't know, though, like, what does your job actually entail?
Somebody once said, I'm in the fun business. I connect things. We were in this brainstorming meeting, and I just sarcastically said, well, why don't we just build a pool on Main Street? And then I realized what I said, and we all kind of went,
Why not?
why not?
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't want everybody to, like, wear the same thing, because that's...
Right. That would be crazy.
Whoops.
Richard was amazing. The only time he ever blew a lyric was when we did a show with Alan Menken, and he's singing Winnie the Pooh. And I'm kind of in front of him, but in the dark.
Yeah.
So he goes, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. And he blanked, and I go, willy-nilly. And he goes, willy-nilly.
So my question is...
Yes, yes, I've been waiting for this question.
Yes.
What could it be? What could it be, everyone? What is this?
Hey, Insiders! I love that we do that.
It's getting better, I think, every time we do it. So well done.
Yes.
Yes.
We are so excited to be here today because we have a very awesome guest with us, which goes without saying because it is the Totally Awesome Show.
The Totally Awesome Show.
There is a
Being
standard.
Awesome, it's kind of like...
Yeah, it's the
It's the
standard.
point.
There's an
It's the
expectation
standard, yes.
that the people have when they watch the Totally Awesome Show, and none other than Tim O'Day here is an awesome person.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Does this make me totally awesome?
Yes.
It does.
Am I going to rise to the occasion, or am I already there?
I think
I guess
you're
they'll
already
have
there.
to watch to find out.
Yes.
It's going to surprise me too.
Yes.
Wow.
It's going to be a really good time, but Tim is absolutely amazing and has done so many amazing PR projects, whether that's for travel and tourism or entertainment. Lots of charities that we've actually worked with him on as well.
And
It's been a
most
great
notably,
ride.
of course, the Walt Disney Company.
Yes.
But not
Love
exclusively.
Disney.
Yes. So there's a lot of great things that Tim has worked on, and we've had the pleasure of working on some of these with him. So when we started the show, we're like, all right, Tim, we know you're awesome, and we've done some awesome things together. Let's talk about it.
This is going to be embarrassing, isn't it?
A little bit. Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Publicist in the hot spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
A
There you
publicist
go.
in a hotspot would be, yes.
Yeah. If it's a PR nightmare, who do we call?
Yeah, so you're supposed to help us fix these, not cause these.
Who's going to help me?
Yeah.
That's the question.
That is the question. Well, we will find out. No, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We should start, though, I think, with why and how we know Tim. It's always, let's start at the very beginning.
This is going to get
A very
embarrassing,
good place to
I
start.
think so.
A very good place to start.
Yes.
So.
It's kind of a fun one. We've obviously been making YouTube videos for a very long time, and we got reached out to by a PR company for an awesome group called the Children's Hospital of Orange County. They do the Chalk Walk at Disneyland, which is a really special event that raises money that we now do every year, and we have our amazing team, and Tim is one of those amazing people who makes that happen.
Yes.
So it's pretty great.
So starting with the Chalk Walk is kind of cool because it is a fantastic charity, and it also kind of ties in a little bit of Disneyland. And when we went to the first time, it was the very first time we got a sticker that said Disney Media on it. So that was a very cool
That was
moment
very
for us.
cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was our first Chalk Walk where we got that like nice
That
little
media
sticker.
badge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the media
That was a
badge.
cool one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done it every year since. I think that was like 6 or 7 years ago. So it's been a long time.
Yeah,
We've
it's been
been
a good run
raising
with
money
Chalk.
for the Children's Hospital of Orange County. So it's been
Yes.
great.
How long have you been doing stuff with Chalk? Because obviously
gosh.
longer than us.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's only been 7 or 8 years. It seems longer than that.
It does.
Right?
It
Wow.
does.
For me, it's been, gosh, I don't even want to say. It's been like 2012?
Wow.
Wow.
20 something. I don't know.
Wow.
Honestly, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
All these things
fantastic.
kind of blend after a while. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's been a long time with Chalk. And
Yeah.
It's been great. Been great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. You
Yeah.
know, you're coming together with a lot of people, you raise money for a good cause.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
Yeah.
And frankly, it's such a fun event to be a part of as well because you're in the park early and you know it's for a good cause and it's just the team does such a great job with it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. We got our team in matching orange shirts, obviously.
did.
Right? For
What a surprise.
I know.
I'm shocked.
Orange
Yes.
us? Really?
What? But yeah, and that was always a blast. And we have this great team photo in front of the castle. And I just, there's a special energy when you're there. And they bring out some like really unique characters for that. And yeah, that's always a really good
Disney
time.
pulls out all the stops, and it's because it's
Yeah,
it's good
we
PR.
like to say it is the most unique pediatric fundraiser in the world.
Yes.
And it is, and it is such a great cause.
Yeah.
It's such a great cause to raise money for the Children's Hospital of Orange County. And, Disney does a spectacular job, and, the Disneyland Resort, just puts everything into it, and it's different every year.
Yes.
And then the folks at Chalk, come on.
I know.
yeah.
They're
And the
so
Chalk
sweet.
Ambassador every year.
Yes.
And then, of course, the Disney volunteers.
Yes.
And everything, and the Disney cast
Yeah.
members. So it's just a great event.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
And if
absolutely
you've
right.
never experienced it before, wouldn't you encourage everybody to at least do it once?
Yeah,
Yes.
especially
Yes.
on Team Insiders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it
Especially on
once.
Team
Just do it
Insiders.
once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you join Team Insiders, you'll not only get an orange shirt, but you'll get to walk very early in the morning. It's about a 3-mile walk through Disneyland, and it's before it opens. So it's really cool to see the sunrise. And like you said, the Chalk ambassadors, the Disney volunteers. KTLA is always there.
Yep.
The big
Henry
media
DiCarlo.
team. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Our
it's a
friends
great
Henry
time.
too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And some really cool, rare character sightings. Like this year, I saw Miko.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen Miko in like 10 years.
Yeah, I think Pocahontas
Yeah.
was with him too. It was
Yeah.
like, it was a
Pocahontas
duo.
yeah, it was both of them. Oops.
Yeah.
It was both of them, and I love that
They were just
pulled those
around that
characters
river
in.
bend? Yes,
Exactly.
They were
right.
just around the
Right
river
there.
bend.
Right around the river bend.
So for those who don't know though, like what does your job actually entail? Like to be like a PR, like to help these people do these things, like what would be some of your responsibilities though in that regard?
I can't describe my job. I can't. My job is I connect things. That's the best way I can describe my job.
I
I
like
connect
that.
things.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
connect people and things. And when I connect things, I try to make things bigger.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe
That's
it.
perfect.
you
That
know?
is a
It-
perfect sound
it
bite.
is 4 and 4 makes 8, and then some.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's somebody once said, "I'm in the fun business."
Ooh, I like
know?
that. I like that.
I'm in the fun business, and we don't do crisis communications.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't do the heavy stuff. We do the fun stuff.
Yeah,
and,
the fun stuff.
And it makes it sound like it's all fluff and everything, but doing the fun stuff can be hard.
Yeah. It can.
Yeah.
It
For
can
sure.
be. It can be. It can be a lot of pressure, but. We've been very lucky. A lot of our clients we've had for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
That's unheard of in the world of PR.
Yeah.
So we've been very lucky, but we certainly have our Disney clients, but we have other clients as well.
Yeah.
We've had a great diversity of clients, and it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that I think is awesome when you talk about a wide range of clients. One of the coolest ones that we didn't know Tim did this, and then he was just casually talking, but really big Christmas trees. Specifically
Really big Christmas trees.
Pier 39 in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that one came about in a very strange way.
Yeah?
We were approached by Pier 39, and they said, we have a little problem. And
Uh-huh.
we said, what's the problem? He said, well, we want to liven up our holidays. And we said, well, how's that? And they said, well, we have a Christmas tree, and everybody has a Christmas tree, and we just want to liven things up. And we said, well, do you have a live Christmas tree? They said,
Yeah.
we have a beautiful live, Christmas tree.
Yeah.
But what can you do to make it different? We said, do you have a dancing Christmas tree? And they said, no, what's a dancing Christmas
Like a
tree?
little
We
top
said,
hat and
and we said, we don't know.
Oh no.
But we'll get back to you. And we did, and they have a dancing, performing Christmas tree now.
Wow.
And
Oh,
it
man.
comes to life every half hour, and it performs, and it's a very unique Christmas tree. You've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah,
have.
that's a big one.
And it's very bright, and it's very loud, and it's a beacon on Fisherman's Wharf, and
Yeah.
it's amazing, right?
It's terrific.
And
Oh, yeah.
and you can't miss it, right?
No.
Oh, no.
It is there.
And that's what we've been doing for the last almost decade.
Wow.
at Pier
That's
39.
awesome. Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
We go to cities now and we're like, did Tim work on this tree or does it need to be improved? 'Cause-
Any tree we can improve. Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a cool story though. I love the Christmas season. So
Oh my
any
gosh,
way
I'm
you
obsessed
can
with Christmas.
any way you can make something
Yeah.
more festive is always
Yes.
always good.
If you've ever wondered, you're like, you see an amazing Christmas tree, you think, oh, we think about that in December. Let's get a tree up. But
Yeah, how soon do you have to do
how does
that?
it take
Well,
months? of planning?
here's the funny thing. How many times have you been in a mall
Yeah.
or anywhere, and you're walking by a Christmas tree in the evening, and you look at the tree and go, oh, that's very pretty, and you just keep walking.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have to admit, when you see the tree at Pier 39
Uh-huh.
and it's performing, you
Right.
stop and watch the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
So,
because
yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
pretty incredible. And
Yeah.
everybody stops and watches it.
Yeah.
And the first question is, when does it do that again?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, we're onto something with that tree.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And they love it, and the audience loves it, and it's pretty great.
Yeah. That's super fun.
We're very proud of it.
Yeah. No, you
Good.
should be.
Right.
That's a cool thing to do.
Yeah. So once again, if you're looking for a dancing Christmas tree, just call us.
Yes. Dancing Christmas trees. That's super fun.
Yeah.
I love that. It's kind of fun. We obviously kind of the unique taste that you have to even make a dancing Christmas tree. That's kind of been something that's defined your whole career and company, I guess, has been whether it's Christmas trees or other projects.
Yes,
it's kind of always
something
thinking
I
bigger.
wanted to talk about was actually the Disneyland 50th celebration, because that was one of my favorite years.
Yes.
Because,
We've been Disney fans.
we've been Disney fans a long
Very
time.
long time.
I've heard that about you.
Yeah.
Yes.
A
Yes.
little bit.
Yes, so we're very big Disney fans, and you worked on a lot of the Disney birthday celebrations, and they do such a great job of making those special, like year after year, and then they all stand out from each other, but they like bring home the magic and that feel good energy of just the Disney parks and the magic that it brings.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I was kind of curious. I don't know if you had any stories from any of those like big Disney birthday parties.
Yeah, Disneyland.
Yeah,
Disney
Disneyland, or-
World.
yeah.
There's been quite a few you've done,
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are.
if you remember those.
No.
No.
Doesn't ring a bell.
No,
Doesn't ring a bell,
It
yeah.
goes back to this idea of having fun projects.
Yeah.
And it goes back to this idea of if we're not having fun, we can't convey fun.
Right.
That's a good point.
Yes.
And so, and you never know where the fun ideas are going to come from.
Yeah.
So, like we were talking earlier about the Olympic pool on Main Street.
Yes,
That
that's a huge one.
came out of frustration, actually.
Really?
Because when the idea of the Olympic swimmers were coming to Disneyland, they were also going to Walt Disney World, and Walt Disney World has those wonderful water parks.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it was a natural that they would go to the water parks, but Disneyland doesn't have water parks. So where could the Olympic swimmers go
Right.
at Disneyland? And there just weren't any options. And we were in this brainstorming meeting, and we were just all getting very frustrated.
Yeah.
And I just kind of sarcastically got verbal,
Yeah.
and said, well, why don't we just build a pool on Main Street? And everybody kind of looked at me, and then I realized what I said.
Yeah.
And then a fellow by the name of Paige Martin was sitting next to me, and both of us the light bulb went off simultaneously, and he looked at me and I looked at him, and then everybody looked at each other, and we all kind of went,
Why not?
why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Let's go for it.
And Paige said, well, we could build a pool on Main Street, and that's what happened.
Wow.
That's terrific.
And then bringing the pardoned turkeys to Disneyland,
Yes.
which we did in 2005.
Yes.
fun.
We needed to extend the 50th anniversary because we had kicked that off on
Right.
May 5th of 2005, and the actual birthday is on July 17th.
Yes.
But the birthday kept going to the next 18 months.
Yes.
So how do you extend that?
Yes.
And so we were all having lunch one day at the ESPN Zone.
Yeah.
It's like,
Place.
Love
and
that
we're
place.
sitting there having lunch, and it's like, la, 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 la. Hey, how do we keep this going?
Yeah.
And we were ordering, and somebody said, what are you going to have for lunch? And I said, well, I'm going to have a turkey burger. It's the only thing my wife lets me eat, right? And the only kind of burger my wife lets me eat.
Yeah.
And I got a certain look on my face, which my wife knows quite well, kind of a glassy look. And somebody said, what's wrong? And I said, every year, the president pardons a turkey.
Yes.
And somebody said, so? And I said, well, he pardons the turkey, so the turkey isn't Thanksgiving dinner at the White House.
Right.
And another person said, yeah.
And?
They're all
So?
looking at me like I'm crazy.
It's like, we all know this.
And I said, well, if you're the turkey, what does that make you?
Free.
And they're like, what? And I said, if you're not Thanksgiving dinner at the White House, that makes you the happiest turkey on earth. And they all went, oh my gosh, what a great idea. And then somebody went, wait a minute, we can't do that. We would be besmirching a great American tradition. And I said, it only goes back to the Eisenhower Truman administration.
Right,
They're like,
right.
oh, okay, let's do it.
Let's get the turkeys to come to
And
Disneyland.
then we found out it's not the White House ceremony. It doesn't belong to the White House.
Oh, wow.
It belongs to the American Turkey Federation. And we called them, and they said, we love this idea. And then we called American Airlines, or I think it was American Airlines, and
Yeah.
they said, we'll fly the turkey first class.
Oh my god!
And the next thing we know, it just snowballed.
Yeah.
And then it just took off from there. And then it was so popular
Yeah.
that they did it 2005, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Yes.
And I must say, a credit to the Disney parks, the turkeys were so well taken care of.
Yeah.
That the turkeys who normally only lived like 6 months, when they were sent to a place called the Frying Pan Park in Virginia,
Wow.
when they were sent to the Disney parks, they were so well taken care of that they were living for years.
Wow.
And finally, the Disney park said, enough. We have like 15 turkeys. We have no more room for the turkeys.
Yes.
That's why they had to stop. There was no more room for the turkeys.
Wow.
Oh,
So
man.
these ideas just kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it's great to think big.
I know
Yeah.
it came out of a turkey burger.
Well, don't put it that way. Don't put it that way. Yeah. That's the opposite direction.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
No, but something that's so
That's
great
awesome.
about that is like any project when you think bigger on, there's obviously walls you can put up and say, oh, that's the White House's thing. Like we can't touch that. But then you dig around, you're like, oh, American Turkey Federation,
Right,
or,
right,
you know,
right.
kind of that thing.
Yeah.
And then it's possible, right?
Yeah.
And then anything's
The most
possible.
the fun one was this idea of looking for something for the Smithsonian,
Oh yes.
Yes.
because we wanted to position Disneyland as a national treasure.
Yes.
And to do that,
Because it is.
it is.
It is.
Yes,
To do
verified.
that, you become part of the Smithsonian,
Yeah.
America's attic,
Yeah,
America's
absolutely.
treasures. So we invited the archivists from the Smithsonian out.
Yeah.
And they had the really tough decision of what do you pick to put in the Smithsonian. That's not
Yeah.
an easy
They're like,
task.
That's not-
We want
Yeah.
the castle.
Yeah,
They're like,
well, you're not wrong. And they looked around and they scoured the park
Yeah.
and they looked in warehouses. They looked everywhere.
Yeah.
And they, what about that turret? No. What about that? No. What about that? No.
Even like the Walt and or the Walt bench from Griffith
No.
Park. Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
That stays at Disneyland.
And so we actually did find an original Dumbo in the
that's
warehouse.
cool. Wow.
And they said, well, was that an original attraction? Yes. What about that teacup? Is that original? Yes. Those were original. And,
Yeah.
they said, well, those are emblematic of Disneyland. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what they landed on, and
That's
they're
great.
they're still there. You guys saw them,
Yes,
right?
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
we
all
did.
the way out to the
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah, we love Washington D.C. and all the museums around there. So we went to the Smithsonian, and we actually went specifically to see the
did.
Dumbo and the teacup. So I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty cool, and it brought us to the Smithsonian. So
It did.
Just
Yes.
saying,
Yeah,
the Smithsonian
they can
walking
say, yeah.
Disneyland exhibit is a good idea.
Yeah, and then I think the other one was the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh yeah.
So Disneyland became the first non-celebrity to get a star.
yes.
Wow.
And there was a little controversy. We were working with a fellow by the name of Johnny Grant. And Johnny Grant was the honorary mayor of Hollywood.
Wow.
And Johnny Grant was a bit player in Hollywood, in the golden age of Hollywood. I think he appears on a couple of episodes of the old I Love Lucy show.
Oh,
nice.
cool.
And through the
Good
years,
stuff. I've heard
he
that.
oversaw the stars in the Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
And we negotiated with him, and Johnny Grant was great.
Yes.
And he said, well, this might be kind of hard to do, but he came up with a great solution. He said, yeah, I think we can get you a star. It won't be exactly on the Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
It'll just be slightly off the Walk of Fame, but adjacent to, but sort of on, but sort of not.
Right.
So it's right in front of the Disney soda fountain,
Yes.
next to
Perfect.
the El Capitan.
That's the perfect place for that.
And it was perfect. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And so that was a big deal.
Yeah.
So great. A lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with
Yeah,
that.
Absolutely.
I always love going on the Walk of Fame because you can see like Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse is now on the Walk of
Yeah.
Fame, and so
Yep.
I love that they've gotten so like playful with it a little bit
Yeah,
too, and
yeah.
but because some of these characters are so iconic, and
They really
Disneyland
are.
is so iconic that they totally have earned their place in the Walk of Fame.
Sure. For
you
sure.
know, so I think it's cool that they've started to get a little playful with that.
My favorite idea, though, that really kind of came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
came out of a lunch one day. This was after I actually left Disneyland.
Oh wow.
I was. This is kind of strange. I had become friends with Ray Bradbury,
Uh-huh.
Very cool.
and Ray loved Disneyland. He had been friends with Walt Disney going back to the 50s.
Yeah.
And of all places, we were having lunch at Storytellers Cafe, at the Grand Californian.
Nice.
And we were having lunch. It was a Saturday afternoon. And he was very excited to tell me that he had a book coming out, a reissue of a book.
Yes.
For an anniversary called The Halloween Tree. And we were sitting there having lunch, and I said, well, when does this book come out? He said, it's coming out this Halloween.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And I had heard about this book. I wasn't familiar with it.
Yeah.
And it was his take on the origins of Halloween, right?
Wow.
Cool.
And so we were talking about it, and I said, Ray, this is so cool. So what is a Halloween tree? And he described it to me.
Is it
And said,
orange?
well, I think you have an idea of what it looks like, right? And so we kind of came up with this idea, and we envisioned this big, gnarly oak tree with all these pumpkins hanging on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he said, wouldn't it be neat if this tree could live where the Christmas tree is at Disneyland?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And we're like, oh my gosh, that'd be great, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I took it to a few folks at Disneyland. And at that time, Halloween was just taking off at Disneyland. And they had a different idea that I think you're all familiar with.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that wasn't going to quite work. And I took it to Tony Baxter. And
Disney
Tony took,
Imagineer, who's awesome.
yes, and Tony took it to Kim Irvine. And it kind of sat there.
Yeah.
But I knew the idea was kind of percolating.
Yeah.
And I just kind of let it
Yeah.
be there.
That's good.
But it
And months later, I heard that the idea had percolated a little more.
Good.
And the next thing I knew, the Halloween tree as we know it today.
Yes.
There was a party for Ray, and it was unveiled. So
That's awesome.
So
That's
that
really
was kind of a group effort. I think
Yes.
we all had hands in that. So that's nice.
Yeah,
and
that's
that is
great.
such a fun piece of Disney. So many people come to the park, and at least in the very niche Disney world, like ourselves, just to go see the Halloween tree. I love it.
And you know what's funny about all of these crazy ideas? It's you can come up with an idea,
Yeah.
but it takes many hands to make the ideas happen. The
Right,
turkey, I came up with the idea, or the silly turkey burger, but
Right.
a lot of people made that idea happen.
That's
None
true.
of these ideas happen in a vacuum.
Right.
So it takes many, many hands to make these things happen.
does.
So it's
such a collaborative thing.
It is. It is absolutely, and it's a team effort. So I came up with the idea, but there are many, many, many names attached to it. So
Yes. Right.
anybody can really take credit for it because everybody had a hand in it.
Working collaboratively is something obviously the three of us are always passionate about. Not only working together on everything that we
We
do.
don't know anything about working together.
Yeah. How would you do that?
Fibber.
I know.
No, but then even past that, the three of us absolutely love working with other people, other groups, and just taking on any sort of project. So that's definitely something that, like, when you're asking, people ask us all the time, how do we work together? And how does anybody get things done? And when you look at a company like Disney or Pier 39 or the Smithsonian, it's like it takes a lot of people. You know what I mean? It just takes an incredible effort and just a lot of people working maybe towards the same goal, even if it doesn't always feel that way.
Yeah, when everyone has a different perspective, and people can work together in different ways. They have different perspectives they come in with, different things they're good at, different skill sets.
Yeah.
And when you can take like the best that everyone has to offer and put it into one project, then you can make some pretty cool things happen.
You just talked about different perspective.
Yeah.
I just did a class at Cal State Fullerton.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
And I used this quote, and when the students did their recap,
Yeah.
I think this quote stuck with them because they mentioned this in their recap.
Wow.
And
Nice.
the quote is this. It actually comes from General George S. Patton, the
Wow.
World War II general.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Great.
he said, if everybody's thinking alike, then no one is thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I like
Yeah.
that.
And
That's
that
a
goes
good
to your
one.
point about different perspectives.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, it's so critical.
So you don't want everybody thinking alike because you don't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So if everybody's thinking differently, you arrive at much better ideas.
Yes.
Right?
That's a good
So
point.
if everybody's thinking alike, it's like then you just get bland.
Yeah.
You know, it's just everything's bland. Everything's
Yeah.
vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you need different perspectives.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
Lots
do.
of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Another thing we learned working the three of us is, like, obviously any project we do, we could all like spend the time doing the same thing, but then we're working as a committee, the three of us, as opposed to if we divide and conquer, then we kind of come at things from different perspectives, and it just makes it all a lot more fresh. as opposed to arguing with each other over the same like minute piece of a project.
Well, and
So-
frankly, we all have our different passion points on topics or parts of a project.
Yeah.
So that kind of lends itself to working collaboratively as well, because we each kind of get to take the lead on different pieces.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Like you wouldn't want, everybody to like wear the same thing because that's
Right. That would be crazy.
Whoops.
I'm wearing a cardigan, thanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. There you go.
It's called branding. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. No, that's
funny.
hilarious.
I like that.
You've worked collaboratively to actually author a bunch of books as well, and I think you do a really nice job with those. They're very research heavy as well sometimes.
Yes,
and I
yes.
think that's pretty interesting. So, do you want to tell us? We have a couple books
couple
with
of
us,
them
but
here.
I don't know
Just-
which one.
just
you
brought
wanna,
a few.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of
Littered
collaborative, why
around.
don't you bring up the Disney World book?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a great story about that one.
That's a
So-
cool one.
Yeah.
This is a big book.
This is a big book.
This-
Yes.
Wow.
This one. Hello. This is a portrait of Walt Disney World right
Yes.
here, everyone.
We're right there.
Yeah. So you're talking about working collaboratively.
Yes.
This book, and this is how I spent COVID, everyone.
Yes.
Good for you.
So this book took a lot of research. This is
Yeah.
probably the most detailed book
Yeah.
on Walt Disney World,
Wow,
on the
that's
history of Walt
incredible.
Disney World. And when we started working on this book,
Yeah.
I did this book with Kevin Kern from the Walt Disney Archives and Stephen Vagnini,
Great.
two terrific archivists and terrific writers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wanted as many pages
Yeah.
as possible for the book. And Kevin said, well, what about endnotes? And my sarcastic reply was, what about them? And
Yeah.
Kevin said, well, we have to have endnotes. And I said,
Yeah.
well, that's a lot of real estate, that we
It
can
is.
use for more pages. And Kevin said, well, we need endnotes,
Okay.
And I kind of fought tooth and nail about the endnotes. I said,
He mentioned them, and that's when the Zoom call is like disconnected.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what's happening.
I said, we don't need those stinking endnotes, And Kevin was very persistent,
Yeah.
and he was absolutely right.
Yeah.
I ate a lot of crow on that because it makes the book very academic.
Yeah.
And he was 1,000% right because we had to work collaboratively.
Yes,
right?
you did. I mean, there's
But-
3 authors on
right.
one book. We did that as well, but we're siblings, so it's
kinda
hopefully a little
separate.
easier. I don't know.
But having those endnotes just made this book absolutely complete.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it makes the book a really terrific reference point.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if anybody is doing any research on Walt Disney World, this is a great resource because of those endnotes.
That's
and
awesome.
That's
and
great.
poor Stephen had to go through and redo those endnotes over and over and over again
Yes.
because as we revised the book, he had to keep revising the endnotes.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
so that was one of the points we had to compromise on and
Right.
work on. But
But
this
it
was
ended up making it better at the end.
and
right?
this was a great collaborative effort, and I'm very
Good.
proud of that.
Good.
And hopefully we'll be doing another book together. But
good
yeah,
for you
this
guys.
was a great example of collaboration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Now this other one back here, this one,
Quite
Another
the collaboration.
That's also
this
a
one.
collaboration.
Well, this was a collaboration of a different sort.
It is.
This is groundbreaking magic with the infamous Martha B.
Yes.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, Martha Blanding just became a Disney legend at last D23.
Yeah, she's a terrific tour guide. She had so many amazing stories of her time.
Yeah.
I mean, she ended up working. She started, but then she only retired a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
After a 50-year career.
Yeah.
And it's groundbreaking. That was, the title of the book,
It
Groundbreaking
is.
Magic,
Yes.
because she's a woman of many firsts.
Yeah.
So she was the first permanent black tour guide
Wow.
at Disneyland,
Yeah.
first black VIP hostess,
Yeah.
first black woman in management, I think, at any of the parks.
Wow.
Wow.
First black cast member employee to retire with 50 years of service.
Wow.
Wow.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
She just broke so many barriers, and she just has had a remarkable life story. And
Yes.
my favorite portion of the book is before she even arrives at Disney.
Oh, yeah?
You know,
Yeah.
her family story is remarkable, and tragically, she had an amazing 2024.
Yeah.
Yes.
She became a Disney legend.
Yes.
Yes.
She went on a book tour to the Mediterranean.
Wow.
Good for her.
And all of that. And then tragically, she lost her home in the fires here in Los Angeles
right.
and
I'm
such,
so sorry.
Oh my
which was horrible. The good news is they're on the verge of rebuilding. And I asked her the other day, I said, what are you going to do? Are you going to make the house bigger? Are you going to do improvements? And she said, we're knocking down one wall and we're going to make the kitchen a little bigger. That's it.
It's not bad.
Wow.
Not bad.
But she's coming out on the other side because she
That's
just
so
has
good.
this
That's good,
amazing,
yeah.
amazing spirit about her.
Yeah.
And she said, so when do we start on book 2? I said, hold on, hold on.
I'm ready.
Yeah. But I just think her story is just amazing.
We have loved getting to meet her and getting to know her, and we got to spend a little time with her at D23.
Yeah.
And then when we did our book signing for the Ultimate Disneyland Food Guide, which is our book that we wrote collaboratively about all the food at the Disneyland Resort. There it is.
That one.
The Ultimate Disneyland Food
Here,
Guide.
come here.
Here you go. This is our book.
Excuse me. Moment of pause here for a shameless plug by
Shameless
the
plug.
insiders right here, everybody. Right here. And in 3D right there. Here we go.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So we have our book, The Ultimate Disneyland Food Guide, and we were actually at a book signing, and you and Martha were seated next to us, and that was pretty special as well. We felt very honored to be sitting at that table with all of you guys.
Yes,
So-
Disney
Yeah.
legends all around us and some incredible people.
Yeah.
And us.
And
Yeah.
us.
It's
I
pretty
know.
cool.
And so that was
And
pretty-
here
pretty
was the
cool.
funny thing. You guys are sitting next to us with the Ultimate Disney Food Guide right here, right there. And there was no food next to us to be found anywhere.
I know.
We have done book events when we're promoting, and we always bring food. We have Dole Whips. We do some really unique.
Except to
churros.
that event.
It was that one.
Except
That
that
one
one.
event.
That
I know.
one. It was like
So
apparently
there.
some big deal that we couldn't do food.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But that's
That's
okay.
okay.
That was harsh.
Yeah,
was.
food is not always friends to people. That's okay.
That was harsh.
But we had a lot of fun writing our book, and we loved meeting Martha and chatting with her, and she's such an inspiration. So what was your role in writing this book with her story, though?
Well,
And when did
so
you meet Martha?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when did you meet Martha?
it seems like Martha has always been a part of my life.
Yeah.
So I met Martha probably 1988, 89, somewhere in there.
Okay, wow.
And Martha and I really started working together in the early 90s.
Nice.
When the official Disney Anna convention kind of took off.
Oh, yeah.
We worked together then. And so when this book came about, when it was decided that she wanted to do a book, she reached out to me and asked if I would help.
Yeah.
And the way we did this is Martha has an amazing memory.
Yes.
Sometimes too good.
You're a friend of hers. Too good.
Yeah. And so I thought, well, how hard will this be?
Yeah.
Right? How
Yeah.
hard will this be?
Yeah.
And if any of you have a friend who has a really good memory, you know it's a double-edged
Beware.
sword.
Yes,
Beware.
beware.
So-
Those are my friends.
So I thought, well, we'll
unfortunately.
start at the beginning and we'll do this in chronological order.
Yeah.
Right? So I would record a chapter with Martha.
Yeah.
And then I'd transcribe it.
Yeah.
Then I'd send it to Martha and she would go over and edit it.
Yeah.
And I'd think, okay, that's done. Next.
Yeah.
And so we'd get like maybe 6 chapters in.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, those are behind us. Those are all good.
Yeah.
And then we'd start on like chapter 7, 8, 9. And then she'd go back and say, oh, I forgot something in chapter 4. And then she'd go back and we could change that. And that would start happening. And so then it just became a big jigsaw puzzle.
Oh,
Yes.
But that's how we did it. And so these are all Martha's words.
yeah. Okay.
Right. But I would write it and she would tell it to me and I'd write it.
Yeah.
And so this is her whole life story. This is her memoir.
Wow.
And
great.
it is a remarkable story, except for that did make it because it happened after the book was written.
After the book was written.
But
Okay.
her nickname is Martha B.
Yes.
Okay.
We've heard that from you.
Yes.
Against her best efforts to keep that from coming out.
I'm going to do it again. So when we were on this book tour on the Disney cruise, and we're in Italy, so we did these presentations on the ship.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I had to tell the audience I want them to meet Martha.
Oh yeah.
So
Gotta
I
be
said,
personal friends.
yeah, one of the first things I said was, now, you don't call her Martha.
Yeah.
You call her nickname, which is Martha B.
Martha B.
And you have to,
B.
you have to pronounce the exclamation point. Martha B.
I like it.
That's pretty
So
good.
in each show, we had about 300 people.
Yeah.
So that's 600 people shouting Martha B. Right? So we're leaving Barcelona. We've done
Yeah,
the cruise.
nice.
We're leaving Barcelona, and we're in this, big airport.
Yeah.
And people would go by, and it's a huge airport, and you'd hear people screaming at us from across the airport, Martha B. and every time they would do that, she'd just casually look at me and go, I'm going to kill you, Tim O'Day. So
I can hear that in her voice.
she
too.
loves me.
Oh
I know
yeah,
she
she does.
She loves
And I think she likes her nickname too.
Well, that remains to be seen. But the sweetest thing though, this was very sweet.
Yeah.
When was this? This was probably April.
Yeah.
April, I think it
Nice.
was. So after the fire, she lost her home, and Colleen Atwood, who also became a Disney legend,
Yeah.
lost
Yeah.
her home in the fire. And the studio called her and said, "Hey, Martha, we want you at the studio next week. Can you come around lunchtime?"
Yeah.
And they didn't really tell her why. And so she shows up and she calls me and says, you be at the studio. I'm like, why? You wouldn't tell me either. So I show up. I don't know why I do these things. She just says, be
Show up.
there and show
Yeah.
up. So I go, and Disney Legends Plaza is all set up for an event.
Wow.
I'm like, what's going on? So basically, the gist was up, and they called her there, and they replaced all of her service awards that she lost in the fire,
wow.
and her Disney Legend Award.
Oh my
and
gosh.
and the same thing for Colleen. And then they surprised both of them by unveiling their handprints in Disney Legends Plaza,
Wow.
which I thought, and Bob Iger unveiled it and everything. And I
Yeah.
thought
That is so special.
That's very sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's terrific. And
So
good to know. I mean, obviously, like the worst tragedy ever would be not only the fire where she loses everything, but then all of her accomplishments and all the plaques and everything disappearing. And so amazing that Disney just
Yeah.
stepped right in and did the right thing.
yeah, it
all
was
the way to the
very,
top.
very
So
sweet.
that's great.
And then in June, she received her doctorate.
Really?
Wow.
At
Wow.
Cal State Fullerton, her honorary doctorate.
Wow.
So,
That's great.
so
Super
now,
cool.
now I have to call her. What is it now? She has the longest title. Dr. Disney Legend Martha B.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
B. You have to hit
And
the B.
her business card's like this long now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
so fun, though.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun project to work on, though, and it's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
All those collaborative efforts, all those things you've been doing.
Yeah.
But I think we
Crazy.
have one more book with us.
Oh,
right?
well, this one, where is it?
Here,
Where's it hiding?
Here
This
it
one.
is.
Well, you guys were asking me about working with Disney Legends.
Yes.
And through the years, I've worked with, almost all of them.
And there's a lot of them.
There's
Yes.
a lot
There's
of
a
them,
lot of
and it's been great. And sometimes, honestly, you work with these folks, and I don't want to say you take it for granted, but
Yeah.
Right.
you're working and you're so busy, and you don't really kind of think about things. And I worked with everybody. I've worked with Mark Davis and John Hench, and
Wow.
and on this book, it was very special because this was the book done for Disneyland's 50th.
Yes. That was a
And-
special one to us, too.
Yeah, and it was very sweet because we got Julie Andrews to do the introduction,
I love
Yeah,
her so
she's
much.
incredible.
and
She really is.
she was great, and
Practically perfect in every way.
she is, and when she was the ambassador, it was very sweet because there's a cute little story when she was announced it was a year prior when she was
Yeah.
announced to be the ambassador. When she walked out, about, I don't know, 500 hardcore media people.
Yeah.
The curtain opens and she walks out of the castle.
Yeah.
And you just heard all these media people go, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Literally
so
would be me.
we brought her out, and she took pictures with all these little kids.
Yeah.
And as she walked back into the castle after the ceremony, she walks back in, and all the little kids start following her like ducklings. And she realized she was being followed. And And she starts laughing, and she turns around and she says, "Oh, it's so nice to meet all of you, but I really must be going." And she says, "Have a good day." And she turns around and walks in again, and they keep following her. and she turns around, she goes, she says, "Well, again, it was really nice to meet you, but I think you're going to have a lovely day here at Disneyland.
Yes.
And I'll see you really soon." And she goes to walk away, and a little girl tugged her on her skirt and said, "Mary Poppins, but wait." And a little girl looked at her, she goes, "Mary Poppins, that's Queen Clarissa."
Yeah.
The little kids look very
Genovia.
perplexed.
What?
Like, what? Who?
Like,
what?
what?
It was very funny.
That's terrific.
That's
She
so
is
cute.
Such a treasure, not only like Mary Poppins, but then Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Sound of
incredible.
Music, or
But
so many
all the
amazing
Disney
events.
legends, they're just a very special group of people.
Yes.
Very, very sweet. And sadly, a lot of them are no longer with us, and those are very treasured memories to me.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Yeah.
I pinch myself thinking to myself that I got to work with them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There's some
they're all
amazing
terrific.
people. They really are very special. And I know you've done some pretty amazing events for Richard Sherman, which are very cool.
Yeah.
Either at D23 or you guys did a fantastic performance at the El Capitan Theater. And I know that you've been involved in a lot of those things. And talk about somebody that's like Disney legend. I mean, literally.
He's the guy.
So, if you don't know,
the Sherman
brothers, Richard and Robert Sherman, wrote some of the greatest Disney songs of all time.
The catchiest lyrics. If you've ever had "It's a Small World" stuck in your head,
Yes.
if you've ever had
Tiki
Bed Knobs and
Room, Bed Knobs and
Broomsticks, Tiki Room,
Broomsticks.
Yep.
just
If you
countless
can
amazing songs.
think of a classic Disney song, they probably
They
wrote
probably wrote
Yeah.
it.
it. Yes,
Yeah.
they are spectacular. So anyway, you have done some amazing projects with them, or even about them that I think are pretty cool.
Yeah, gosh, I can't even tell you when I started working with both of them.
Yeah.
Because I worked with both Robert and Richard. And, they were two distinct personalities.
Yeah.
Robert had a very dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
And he was a little bit like Eeyore, a little
Okay,
bit, just
okay.
a little bit, but he was very sweet, very, very sweet. But he had a great dry sense of humor. And then Richard was Tigger. He was just bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the two of them were just terrific together. Richard was amazing because, as he got older, Richard never did any of those concerts with sheet music in front of him, ever.
Wow.
That's
And
incredible.
That's
the only time he ever blew a lyric was when we did a show with, I produced a show with Alan Menken. It was the only time that they performed together.
Wow.
It was for D23 in 2014, I think it was.
That's very special.
And so I'm up on stage in front of 12,000 people. Richard has no sheet music in front of him, and he's singing Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
And he's up there and Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in front of him, but in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. And he blanked.
He's like, oh.
And he Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. And the line is willy nilly.
Yeah.
So he goes, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. And he blanked, and I go, willy nilly. And he goes, willy nilly. And it was just so funny.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, that's it, willy nilly.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the
And he couldn't believe that he blew that one line.
no.
And all the times we did those shows together,
Yeah.
the only time,
was
which was
willy-nilly.
amazing. Yeah, willy nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Willy nilly
What's that
tripped
word
of all the silly song lyrics that he had.
Yeah.
Willy nilly through him.
That's funny.
That's really funny.
But the one that got me was the show that we just did a year ago, August. Yeah, 2024.
Yeah.
After he passed away, and that was really tough. And we did that show for D23 in the arena.
Yes. Yes, we were there.
Yeah, and I was backstage most of that show, and I came out at the very end. I produced that, and I was back there with the monitor and everything.
Yeah.
And I thought, I just have to go out and see the audience.
Yeah.
And it was near the end when everybody's singing "Let's Go Fly a Kite."
That's so
good.
cool.
And I have to be
was
honest,
special.
when I came back out and I'm right there in the wings and I can see the audience and everybody is swaying to "Let's Go
Aw.
Fly a Kite."
I love it.
That put the biggest smile on my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just see everybody doing that.
That's cool.
And then the El Capitan show, that was mainly for family and friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that was very much like Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland, let's put on a show. We
Yeah.
have no time, we have no budget.
Yeah.
You know.
Just a celebration.
Yeah, but the Disney folks were so great to let us have the El
Nice.
Capitan, and
Yes.
they were so cooperative, and we had no rehearsal.
That sometimes makes it better.
Sometimes
though.
that's what makes it
Sometimes
fun.
that's the vibe you're
Sometimes,
looking for.
Well, if that's the vibe, my blood pressure didn't appreciate that one. It was so funny because you're on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And, Bart Simpson and Spider-Man and
Yep.
Superman all wanted to come in, like, no.
Not your show.
And not your show.
Sesame Street
But
characters.
that one was very sweet. Yeah, Sesame Street characters. Elmo, no, you're not coming in, Elmo.
We
that
had
was sweet.
the cool opportunity to watch him perform one time, and we went to the El Capitan Theater, and it was a throwback night, and they did the Winnie the Pooh on the big
Yes,
screen.
it was throwback. To Winnie the Pooh.
It was to
yes.
Winnie the Pooh.
I think
Yeah.
it was
Or was it
Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
We did both.
We
I
did
think
both.
we did
We went to both. It was one of the two.
He showed up. It was Bedknobs and Broomsticks in
Okay.
2018.
Yeah.
Which was our parents' favorite movie. So we had seen it many times, but never in a theater. So we went to see it at El Capitan, and he came out. He did sing Winnie the Pooh, and this was 2018, and he did not forget the lyrics. So
Yes.
that 2014 story was the only time
Yeah.
that he ever did forget.
And then he also sang oh my
The
gosh,
Age of Not
The Age of Not
Believing,
Believing. He
was
did a
very
great
special.
job
And
for that
he
one.
also did Portobello Road.
Yes, and he
Portobello
did a bunch of
Road.
songs. And I
And
think he also did,
Let's
of
Go
course,
Fly a Kite.
and Feed the Birds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, Feed the
Yeah.
Birds.
Well, now there's a funny Feed the Birds story.
Oh, yeah?
Because for Walt's 100th birthday in 2001,
Oh, yeah.
the big celebration was at Walt Disney World for
Yes.
Walt's birthday.
Yeah.
And I kind of beseeched Disneyland that they had to do something for Walt at
You
Disneyland.
have to.
Absolutely.
And so,
Yeah.
as sometimes happens, they say, okay, smart guy, figure that out.
Yeah.
So, I put something together, and
Yeah.
so I got John Hench, who knew Walt Disney, of course, and Richard, and I realized they had never dedicated the Walt and Mickey statue, the partner statue. They had unveiled it. They had unveiled it, but they had never dedicated the statue.
Oh, wow.
So he
That's
said,
very
"Well, let's
interesting.
do that." And so we had Richard and John there, and John told some really funny stories, and then
Yeah.
Richard, of course, performed. So they had this big white piano out there, and it was a beautiful day, just beautiful, beautiful winter's day, and kind of chilly in the air, and
Yeah.
white puffy clouds, blue skies. And they had turned off the music in the hub because Richard was going to perform.
Nice.
And, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on Main Street. And it was about, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And so Richard's out there and he has a number of songs. And of course, he's going to play Feed the Birds.
Yes.
Yes.
And so he gets to the point in the show where he's going to play Feed the Birds, and he starts to play. And now there has not been any birds to be seen anywhere. No birds.
Wow.
It was a bird-free day. No birds. Nobody's feeding the birds that day.
What birds are we going to be feeding?
Yeah,
Not
no,
even Disney
no
ducks.
birds.
Like,
Yeah, no birds.
on.
Ducks, show up.
So he starts to play, and he's in the middle of the song, and I'm not making this up, out of nowhere, a bird appears out of nowhere,
Yes.
comes down right next to the bench,
Wow.
looks at him, and
He's
takes
like,
off.
so are you going to
Wow.
feed the
Like
birds?
literally comes down, and it was surreal to the point where
So-
the entire audience goes,
The bird is a paid actor.
yeah, but it was because it was weird.
Yeah.
Like there had been no birds,
Yeah.
and now there's a bird. And,
Yeah.
and
If
and it
anyone
took
has
off.
ever watched Enchanted, we know that it happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so after the show, we're having lunch, and Richard said, "By the way, what was that kind of weird noise the audience made when I was playing Feed the Birds?" I said, "Oh, Walt came by."
Yeah.
He goes like, "What?" And I said, "This bird came out of nowhere." He goes, "Come on, you're pulling my leg."
Yeah.
And I said, no, we have it on video.
Yeah.
And some months later, we were at Tony Baxter's house, and I'd given Tony a video of it.
Yeah.
And Richard saw it. He goes, "You're kidding."
Yeah.
And
It's
you
an
can
actual
actually
bird.
hear the audience kind of go, right?
Yeah.
And so
Bird.
in subsequent tellings of this story,
Yeah.
Richard and I would tease each other. So it went from being a sparrow
Yeah.
to a pigeon to a hawk to a vulture to a
Right.
condor to a
Yeah.
pterodactyl.
Oh, yeah.
The bird got
Bald
bigger and
eagle.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it got bigger and
all,
bigger
all
and
the
bigger.
way.
Yeah.
All the way up to a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Prehistoric dinosaur. It was a
Yeah.
dodo bird. It's
Yeah,
like,
it was
wait.
a dodo bird. It was a pelican. It was all kinds of
Yeah.
things.
That's awesome.
I think an ostrich at some point.
Yeah.
Huge.
Peacock.
Yeah,
Yeah, peacock.
Yeah.
I see that one
That's a good
too.
one.
Feed the peacock. Doesn't have the same.
No.
It doesn't quite
Not
have the same
quite.
tone.
No.
All these stories, you've led a totally awesome life.
Totally
but I have to
awesome.
ask,
Yes.
is this like what you said you wanted to be when you grew up? Like when you were a kid, did you ever think you were going to be a Publicist.
Yeah, right. Book writer and all these things.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew what a publicist was.
That's so fair.
Very
Very fair.
That's true.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's a great question. I don't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. When I was a kid, I loved history. I loved books.
Yeah.
Which is weird because looking back, I swear I was dyslexic. I'm serious. I think I was dyslexic. I had a little trouble reading.
Yeah.
But I loved to read.
Yeah.
Which is
Right.
odd.
Yeah.
And I think it was more really towards numbers. I had trouble with numbers. But I loved to read, and I loved books, and I loved history. I remember, though, I think it was my mother's friend had a relative or someone who was a publicist, marketing person for Ringling Brothers.
Oh, wow.
And,
nice.
and we were at a party, and they brought their circus friends.
Yeah.
I just
pretty cool.
and I just remember these people are strange or,
something.
something, or they're interesting or something.
I've seen The Greatest Showman. I know what you're talking about.
or they just kind of fascinated me. They were show people, whatever they
Right.
were.
Yeah.
And that kind of always stuck with me. But I never thought of it as a profession. Being a writer, I loved to write as a kid.
Yeah.
So I think all of that kind of stuck with me.
Yeah.
But I never thought that I'd want to be a PR person. I didn't know what that was.
Right.
You know?
I think that's fair.
So-
I think that's fair. There's so many like paths in life, and you don't even always know what you're like. I mean, we didn't wake up one day and say we're gonna grow up and become the insiders.
Yeah.
But
Right.
there was a path that led us there. Where at one point it's like, oh, this is what we're gonna
This
do
is
next.
it.
Like this
Yeah.
is
I mean,
this is
when
the
we
next
were
step.
born, except for Eric, YouTube didn't exist.
That's
There
true.
you go.
That's
Yeah.
true. You
So
know?
like this
No,
wasn't
no,
even-
no. When I
Oh,
was
wait.
born, YouTube did not exist.
Oh yes, for like 10 days.
5. It
5
was
days.
Valentine's Day on that year.
Yeah.
was
Yes.
when
Anyway,
YouTube
So
launched.
Eric is
Anyways.
5 days older than YouTube, guys.
So I can kind of see that because like life leads you in so many different directions
yeah.
that maybe the core and the heart of what you wanted to be when you grew up is there, but not
the path
specific.
itself.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna go be a firefighter. Everybody knows what that
Well,
is.
here's the funny thing. When I was a kid, I had a lot of unusual access to Disneyland.
Really?
But Disneyland sparked my interest in American history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Abraham Lincoln,
Uh-huh.
and it sparked my interest in things like in trains
Yeah.
and the Civil War and turn of the century America.
Wow.
And the Old West.
Yeah.
And so I went deep dives into things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was the weird kid that loved that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I love that.
And it gave me an interest in older music. So when I was in high school, I couldn't wait to take the AP history test.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
things like that. So yeah, I really kind of gravitated towards that and
Yeah.
older
Nice.
classic American books and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
So-
which is what you're doing now. So it's kind of cool. So you're still, you really are living that dream in some way.
Well, yeah, and it's funny in talking to PR classes.
Yeah.
I tell the students, you love things of today.
Yeah.
You can't live in the past.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Love things of today. Love the music of today and everything. But don't discount the past because you have to have a well-rounded education.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're going to be handed a project.
Yes.
That might deal with the past.
Yes.
And if you don't have some kind of touch points to the past, you're
Yeah,
going
you
to
need
be
something.
completely lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't rely on Chat GPT.
No, you
know?
can't.
No, you
And if you want to be a creative person and you don't have those touch points, you're going to be lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time,
We were
big
talking
time.
to a director in Hollywood, and one of the things that he's really passionate about is that you've seen old movies because he wants to walk on set and say, I want you to, he's like, remember this character from this movie. I want you to be like that. And he
Yeah.
wants you to be able to cross-reference, previous movies and previous films with what he is trying to get you to do. So like when he's directing you, he's always referencing something in the past. So you have to
Yeah.
have an understanding of the past to do the future well.
Right.
And
Right,
I
right,
believe
right.
that no matter what your profession or what you do in life
Well, I
is.
would love to know what his
Absolutely.
definition of old movie is.
Well, I called them old movies. I don't think he called them
He
old
probably-
movies.
He probably didn't call them old
didn't call them
movies.
Well,
old
I
movies.
saw.
He called
I-
them classics.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to know like his definition of old movies because I saw a really great conversation the other day.
Yeah.
About the old Universal monster movies.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like the Universal, at the new Universal Park.
Right?
Yeah.
About the area that has the Universal monsters in it.
Oh, you like
Yeah,
Dark
Dark
Universe?
Universe.
Yeah,
Dark
like
Universe.
Frankenstein.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
And so how they've redone Frankenstein and Dracula and everything, and they're not the classic
No.
monsters.
Right.
And how some people are disappointed and they
Right.
don't recognize them.
Right.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
And how they can't relate to them
Yeah.
because they're not the classic monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like they're a little disappointed.
Right.
And they said, well, we reinvented them for today's audience. It's like, yeah, but they're not the same.
Right.
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 No, that's true. It depends on what audience you're attracting, what audience is actually going to the parks, right?
So
You have to be
for like movies
careful.
and TV shows, that makes sense because you're trying to put a fresh take on it. But for a theme park that's supposed to be based around that, you're gonna want to see the classics.
Yeah,
unless
you're
you
gonna
tell
wanna
them
get
it's
the
draw
big.
draw
there on
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
That's a good
So
point.
It's kind of odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But classic like Singing in the Rain is always a great one. I love
Always a good
Lucy.
one.
You know,
Yeah.
some of
Some
the
those
original
classics.
icons.
Yeah, I love Lucy in particular because like she invented the sitcom in that.
The Dick Van Dyke
sense.
Show. We
Yeah.
watched,
Yeah.
that one a little bit. That's
a lot
another
of good
classic.
classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is,
Yes. Yes. I've been waiting for this question.
yes.
What could it be? What could it be, everyone? What is this?
we ask every episode, but I've been really curious for what your answer would be. Have you ever had a I can't believe this is my life moment where you like walk into a room and you're like, whoa,
I'm
like, this
I'm
is
living
really
it
cool.
right now.
Like, I'm on the
right
Inside
now.
podcast.
Yes, it's this.
That's the best answer we've got so far.
Yes, it is.
Everyone else goes and gives us a backstory. I like that answer. Being on your show.
This
Thank you for that.
right
one.
here.
That-
Right here.
That's a good answer.
This one. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. Oh my gosh.
Finally happened.
It finally happened. I'm on the Totally Awesome show.
That's right. This right here. There's some. I don't know. There's so many. There's just so many. One of them. Geez, do I have to pick one?
You don't have
You
to
don't
pick
you
one.
can do multiple.
Because as things happen in your life, there's different moments that are very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And,
Like-
you're always dreaming a new dream, as they say in Tangled. So
I'm assuming you're asking like professional ones.
yeah, it
Okay.
can be
anything.
It can be anything, but yes.
Well, let's narrow it down to professional
Yeah.
ones. Gee whiz. Well, there are two that stand out.
okay.
So I was working the premiere of Pocahontas.
Oh wow.
I took two artists, Hiro Yamagata and Peter Max, two
Okay.
really well-known artists,
Yeah.
to the premiere of Pocahontas in Central Park,
Oh, that's
Nice.
which was amazing, just mind-blowing.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Awesome.
And the film had premiered. We're walking through Central Park.
yeah.
You see the skyline of New York,
Wow.
right?
I bet that was gorgeous.
And it's like 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
There's this. It's like you're walking through a Woody Allen movie.
Oh,
right?
nice.
And it's the skyline of New York. There are fireworks going off over the skyline of New York. You're in Central Park.
Wow.
And they are blaring Rhapsody in Blue.
Wow.
Okay. It
Wow,
is.
that's pretty
you're,
cool.
You're in a Woody Allen movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is insane.
That's
and it was
cool.
like, I cannot believe this is happening to me. Like,
Yeah.
where's Woody Allen? Where's
Yeah.
Diane Keaton?
Yeah.
Where is this?
Yeah.
Right? This is
Yeah.
nutty. That was, and I'm with Peter Max and Hiro Yamagata and thousands of people. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
That
premiering a
was
brand
that
new-
was like a pinch me moment.
Yeah.
The other one was the kickoff of Disneyland's 50th.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am in the middle of the Plaza Hub
Yeah.
with all these journalists, hardcore journalists.
Yes.
We're watching Remember Dreams Come True,
Oh,
narrated by Julie Andrews.
I was gonna
So
say that's
good.
the best.
So
Nobody
good.
has seen this yet, right?
Right.
Wow.
And, it's the history of Disneyland through fireworks and music and
Yeah.
such.
One
And
of the greatest fireworks spectaculars I think Disney's
absolutely,
ever done.
absolutely.
So, I mean,
It-
but with Julie Andrews as the narrator. I
yeah,
mean, come
How
on.
could you
I
not?
I
Yeah.
actually think it's Steve Davison directed that. I think
Yeah.
it's one of his best things he ever did.
Absolutely.
And I'm standing there watching this, and almost every person next to me is crying.
Wow.
Wow.
Every
Yeah.
person.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Honestly.
I'm smiling and beaming from ear to ear, thinking of Steve and going, he nailed this. Man.
yeah,
He just
yeah.
nailed this because
Yeah.
everybody's just bawling their eyes out.
Wow.
Because that show is so perfect.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
Another pinch me moment. Well, this actually has a funny prelude to it.
Yeah, cool.
Because that morning, I was on Good Morning America with Robin Roberts.
Yeah.
In Walt
Nice.
Disney's apartment.
oh,
Wow.
that's really cool.
Oh,
That's very
But
cool.
leading up to it, we had been working so hard and almost around the clock.
Yeah.
That I had an option of like 4 hours.
Yeah.
I could either go sleep in my office or go home.
Yeah.
And my family wasn't home. And I thought I could go home, get like 90 minutes sleep,
Right.
grab something to eat, take a shower, and come back.
Right.
So I opted to go home,
Okay.
and it's May.
Uh-huh.
When does it rain in May?
No,
right?
not
Never.
here. Not in
right.
California.
Never.
Not California.
So
Yeah.
I go home, set the alarm clock, turn on all the lights, grab something to eat. I throw on something mindless. I think it was Dancing with the Stars or something.
Yeah, we watched last night.
Calm down. And I'm out like a light.
Yeah.
I don't even think I ate. I was so tired. I just fell asleep.
Yeah.
I wake up, see the clock, and oh my gosh, I'm running late.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
I jump in the shower, throw on the clothes, race out of the house. I think the 91 freeway still has stretch marks. I was going so fast. And I get to the park, and I race backstage, and I'm running up the stairs to Walt's apartment. I am perspiring. I am convinced I'm late for this live shot.
Yeah.
And I burst open the door, and I'm thinking, I am late for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I burst open the door. There's equipment all over the floor, and the gaffer is asleep on the couch.
So it was all of you.
I was so tired that I had gotten my wires crossed as far as the time change and all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm panting. I can't even get the words out of my mouth.
Oh, no.
And I say, where is everybody? And he's like, man, who are you? And I've got a suit and a tie on and the name tag and everything. And he goes, who are you? And I'm Tim. I'm on with Robin Roberts.
Yeah.
Live shot. And he looks at him. Man, you're not on for like 3 hours. Well,
Oh, man.
I'm not late, right?
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
But it had been raining and everything, heavy drizzle, not really rain. And I was so relieved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I go in the bathroom there in Walt's apartment. I'm like throwing water in my face, and as like so relieved. And so when they finally got it all together and we
Yeah.
shoot the spot, I was such a happy camper. And if you see the spot, Tim is like in La La Land.
Yeah,
like,
Tim is
hey,
like,
I'm here. I'm on time. Life is good. You know.
Yeah, I mean, Walt's apartment, tucking
I
You
out
know,
rooms.
but she was so delightful.
Good.
And I was so relieved to be on time that Tim was just like
Tim was on cloud nine.
Yeah, total cloud nine.
Yes.
And that was a pinch me moment because, I was not late
Yep.
and she was
Life
happy
is
and I was
good.
happy and life was good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's a hilarious
Yeah.
story.
I
Hilarious
love
in
that.
hindsight.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the
Yes.
moment you would have like 2
Yes.
more hours of sleep.
Everything is funny in retrospect.
Yes.
I have a rule that if it would happen in a sitcom and there would be a laugh track, I should probably
Yeah.
laugh too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of my rules. So
Yeah,
Yes.
crazy.
We try to remind ourselves of that.
yeah, we try to remind ourselves if there would be a laugh track, then we should
Then
be
it's
laughing.
okay to laugh about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy
pretty
stuff.
funny. Those are some great stories, though.
Those
I
are,
love it.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I can't believe this is my life. And you realize, I guess, just how excited you were to be on Good Morning America when you thought you were going to miss it. Because then it was just like, so many emotions.
Well,
on display.
and my friend Michael Young
Yeah.
from,
Yeah.
from the Disney Fine Art Program, Mikey and I were down at Walt Disney World for the 25th anniversary.
Wow.
We were
Nice.
with Mark and Alice Davis, and we were like third row back from Hillary Clinton.
Oh, wow.
Who was
Wow.
the VIP speaker with Roy Disney and rededicating the Magic Kingdom.
Wow.
And that was a pinch me moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, to be at that
And
event so close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then being Florida, they
Just rained on everybody.
They did all the speeches and they sang "It's a Small World" and all the doves and everything.
Yeah.
And just as the parade started, the clouds opened up.
Yeah. Yep.
It can
That's
happen at
Florida
any time
for
in
you.
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
We just got
Florida.
back from a Florida trip and it did not rain once. And I
A
was
single
like,
day,
I
yeah.
know.
not to mention, it was a high of like 65 degrees. So we were in jeans and a sweater every day. I was like, I don't know
It did
what
not feel
alternate
like-
universe we're living in, but that was
It
fantastic.
was nice.
Oh, I was
was
just down
great.
there twice in the month of October. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Just
we
beautiful.
had a
Be there.
very good time. We're like, I'm going to come every time this year because that was nice.
Yeah.
I was not sweaty.
One thing throughout my career with Disney is I get so tired of people comparing the two resorts.
I agree.
Yeah.
They're
It's
so
just-
different.
They're so different.
you know, and I just think it's so unnecessary and silly.
Yes.
And Tony Baxter has a great answer for that. You know, when people ask him, you know, what's better, what's this, what's that, and he has a great answer. He says, "Girls, you're both pretty. Sit down."
Yeah.
There you go.
That is
like
good.
it.
You know,
I do like that.
it's such a silly comparison. I love them both for different
We do
reasons.
too.
You
We
know?
do too.
Yeah.
And we used to be, hardcore. We love Disneyland, and then we started going to Disney World. I was like, all right, it's pretty great too.
Yeah.
But
They're
both
then,
great.
but then we couldn't.
But it doesn't diminish our love of Disneyland
Not
just
at
because
all.
we like Disney World.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. So no, we love them both.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I'll
they
go with
they
you.
both
Yeah,
have
big
their
time.
and one thing when we started doing the Disney World book,
Yeah.
I think it was so overdue, and Stephen and Kevin heard me, gripe about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The nostalgia of Walt Disney World
Yes.
is just as deserving as the
It is.
nostalgia
I
of
was
Disney.
gonna say the
Absolutely.
same thing because everybody talks about Disneyland and the history, and you talk about 1955, and it was definitely legendary.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
70s building Walt Disney World in the 70s, and it was Roy. It was still Walt's vision, and
Well,
there's
and-
still so much history there.
Like
But-
the weather and location of Disney World too, they had to. I mean, obviously they're going around, all these
Marshland,
like swamp
swamps.
and all this different thing is such a different challenge than they had here.
Yeah, and I think it's just interesting.
But just the graphics
Yeah.
of 1950s, 60s Disneyland,
Right.
and 1970s, 80s Walt Disney World,
Right.
They're both charming.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
They're
they're
both
super
great.
unique.
Absolutely.
Yes, they are.
We actually met a group on our most recent trip, and it was a family. And so mom and dad were talking, and the dad was at Disney World as a kid in 1971. And he told all these amazing stories about being there opening day. And it was just very interesting because I've collected so many stories about 1955. And we've
And-
tracked down people who were there and heard their stories. And that was the first time we heard a Florida story back to the 70s. So it was very interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was, I was there when Disney World opened in, 1971. I was like, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
they were an East Coast family, so they've never even been to Disneyland.
Yeah.
But this was it to them. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting and a good perspective for us. Something that's kind of fun about Tim, if you're a Disney fan, is you start seeing these names and then you'll recognize them in Disney media. And a big one for that for us was Behind the Attraction.
Yes.
As those came out, we went and rewatched those and we didn't even know it was an episode. And then you were like the main feature of it. And we were so excited because it's our friend Tim.
Yeah, I know. We were just like, oh, this looks fun. We love Disney history. Let's watch Behind the Attraction. It's like, oh, it's Tim. I was like, all right. So we had to bring that up too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a surprise to me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, because when they had me interview for it, excuse me, they had us interview multiple topics.
Right.
Well, I didn't know it was going to show up in multiple episodes.
Oh.
So I'm
So
kind
they
of
got
all
all
over.
the footage and then kind of assembled it later.
Yeah, I didn't know I was going to be in so many episodes. That was a shock.
Yes,
So,
yes.
it's a great show. It's really fun.
Oh, I love
It is.
when you talk about Disney history. I mean, this is deep diving Disney history on an attraction level, which I thought was really
Yeah,
cool.
really cool
'Cause
to go.
You a lot of times you talk about Disney, they kind of touch on these topics, but this was a deep dive into each one of them.
Case by
Yeah.
case, the Jungle
Yeah.
Cruise is a really
Yeah.
good one where you
Oh,
show
yeah.
like just how hard it was to build.
Yeah, to build
the
a
Nile
jungle.
River, yeah, in a jungle.
Orange Grove. Yeah,
Yeah, in the 50s. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
No,
So that was a
I think
cool
it's
one.
great. I love the irreverence of it. I love how fast it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah,
and
we
even
did-
just like the format of it feels like
So
kind of that
just
like
fun.
vintage TV feel.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good one.
It's great.
So
Really fun.
one thing I would say about you is that you're kind of like the master of fun. You just go around,
Oh, yeah.
coming up with good ideas, having fun on Behind the Attraction. Like if somebody wanted to also be a master of fun,
Or maybe they want to do multiple things.
Yeah.
Any category you have, whether it's publicity or archives or writing books or just any of the paths that you've taken, do you have any advice?
to somebody that wants to like do fun for a living.
Do fun for a living.
Yeah,
Well, it's not always fun.
exactly.
That's a good point too.
That we got to keep grounded here.
Why?
Well, the advice is this: it's be diversified.
Yeah.
In your background.
That's important.
So as you stated earlier,
Yeah.
my background just isn't Disney. It's a lot of different things.
Yes. Yeah, you
and
do a
so
lot.
yeah, so have a diverse background and a diverse knowledge base.
Yeah.
Because you can't just be one thing. You have to be multiple things.
Yeah.
you have to have multiple interests.
Yeah.
And you have to have multiple disciplines. That's really important these days.
Yeah.
As I tell students, you have to be a master of many things. And you have to have multiple skill sets. And you have to be able to juggle.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to handle the stress because it can be very stressful.
Yeah.
Even though you're the master of fun, you have to be able to handle the stress.
Well, one thing that comes with a lot of different opinions is maybe they're not always as on the same page, or
there's high
able to
stakes.
compromise as well. So
Yes,
it's
high
high
stakes.
stakes
When you're
as
doing
well.
something big, there's a lot at stake at once.
Yes. Well, and the other thing is you take the work seriously,
Yeah.
but you don't take yourself too seriously.
I like that.
That's a great
I
point.
like that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you're not doing brain surgery.
Right.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
And as I said before, if you're not having fun, you can't convey fun.
Yes.
And some people take themselves way too seriously.
Yes.
Yes.
And so if you take yourself too seriously
Yes.
and you're trying to convey fun or you're trying to convey
I have a funny story about this.
Yeah. And it comes through.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
it comes
big
through.
time.
It comes through to the media. It comes through to the consumer, and it doesn't work,
Yes.
as you know, right?
So, as you know, we make a lot of videos in the park, and what we love to do is have fun. And really, we get to go to the park, we get to go to Disney together, the three of us, and just play, and it's a blast. There's one video we did though that we never uploaded because it is so bad, but we were literally at Disney World, and it was probably 40 degrees. It was very, very cold.
It was
Cold.
very cold. Our grandmother was calling us concerned because the news told her that iguanas were falling out of trees.
Because
and
it
we
was
had
so
to
cold.
look out
Reaching
for
below
falling
freezing
iguanas.
point. Yeah, and they were gonna fall.
And so we were at Disney World. We're gonna have this really fun video idea in our head that we're gonna go do at Disney World. And we go and we film it, and we're freezing, but we're doing our thing.
it was like an unproductive morning. So then we were also stressed about like doing the day and not
and
getting
then
the
it
video.
started raining in the cold too, and so we're sopping wet. And we're like, it's okay because we got the video. And I go back home and I'm editing it, and I just bust out laughing because we look miserable.
We're like, we are
look
not having fun.
absolutely miserable. We're
Yeah.
having zero fun making this video about how much fun we're supposed to be having, and we were literally so miserable that I just busted out laughing.
I
in
think
the
I
editing
think I
room.
legitimately said the great thing about Disney World is that you can enjoy all this magic even while you're cold and miserable.
Yeah, she did. She said,
Hold on. I want to get back. Did you really get hit in the head with a frozen iguana?
I did not.
Okay.
we didn't get hit. They weren't falling though.
They were falling out of trees
They
though.
were falling out of trees,
I've
though.
never seen an iguana anywhere in Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
Neither have I.
Anywhere.
They're around.
No.
I mean, they like the funny thing. So it felt ridiculous, but then I was seeing videos on Facebook and on TikTok, and like iguanas, because it reached below their internal freezing point.
Yeah,
were
something
getting
about
stuck and
social
falling.
media. Everyone
And
was
then-
telling us that we were going to be hit by.
It was like a
falling
real-
iguanas.
It was like a
People
real
were
issue.
ta-
But
like-
anyway, you are so right that if you're not
Yes.
having fun, it's hard to portray fun.
Right.
And so,
Right.
even though we wanted the video to look very fun, we were very miserable. And
Yes,
you could tell.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Fearful of being hit in the head by
By
a frozen
falling iguanas.
iguana.
Yes.
Yes.
So anyway, not to interrupt, but it just reminded me of our story, and that is a fantastic point.
Yes.
Yeah.
That if you want to, you really have to be
You want to
genuinely
bring joy
having
and
fun.
do good
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to be sincere too.
Yes, you
Yes,
do.
absolutely. I will say something that we learned with the cold weather Florida debacle. When you're trying to have fun and trying to kind of work in that environment, the important part too is to make something you can't control be a good thing in the fun. Because we had our shot list that we kind of prepared that was very heavy on a normal Florida day, and once it wasn't a normal Florida day, we didn't change anything.
Yeah,
And
so we should have adapted.
We should have adapted.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's some advice that we have to people is like, if you adapt to your situation, then you can still pull a victory out instead of what we did, because we definitely did not.
Yeah, your checklist is important, but if fun is the goal, it has to be a little bit
Just make it fun.
adaptable.
A loose checklist.
Even to visitors,
Yes.
like we know some people who go to the parks and they're just so ready. They want Space Mountain, they want Rise of the Resistance, they want something, and if it doesn't fit their timeline, they stress out. And we're always like, stop and watch the band, or like, try things that make the park fun. And that's where our love of the parks kind of comes from.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yes.
Verify. We approve.
I'm still fixated on the iguanas. I'm sorry.
Yep.
You should be.
You should be.
You should be.
That was an experience.
It was,
It
it
was.
was unique.
I've never come across an iguana in my entire career. dead or alive, and I'm just fixated on it. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's amazing.
Freeze and fall out
Yeah,
of trees.
just-
Apparently
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
I
Florida.
have
in
nothing against
January.
iguanas, mind you. I just, they've never come across
Blame
my.
it on social media.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will.
Just blame it on TikTok. Yeah.
Blame it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Well, this was so much fun. We
This
had a
was
really,
fun.
really great time chatting with you.
Yes.
Yeah, it
That
was a blast.
And this is a highlight for me.
Yay.
What was the question you had for me?
Aha moment. What was one of
I
your
can't
big
believe
aha
this
This
moments?
is
Am I
it.
Yes.
This is it again. This
I'm
is
so
it.
happy.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
That's terrific.
Wow.
That makes me
Wow.
very happy.
Yeah.
This makes me
Yes.
happy.
And
Good.
I would call this another totally awesome episode.
Yes.
Yes.
I
it was-
love that for me. Yes.
You are a totally awesome episode.
Yes,
Good job.
totally awesome, Tim.
Totally
That's
awesome,
what we
Tim.
got.
Totally awesome, Tim.
Oh.
I like it. I
That's
like
Totally
it.
awesome Tim time.
Tim Time.
This is
There
totally
you
awesome,
go.
Tim.
Yes. Our totally awesome Tim Time.
yeah.
We're going to be using that for a very long time.
Yeah.
Tim time.
Yes, totally awesome Tim Time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, this
You're
was
Thank
fun.
you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. And
Yes.
thank you. And thank you. And thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
And be
Yes.
sure to subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. We talked to a lot of totally awesome people. And you guys
Just like
should
to
check
do
it out.
fun things
Yeah.
and, tell fun stories.
We'll also have some of Tim's totally awesome books linked in the description, so be sure to check it
Yeah,
out.
there's plenty to choose from. So
Including the Ultimate Disneyland Food Guide, which isn't Tim's, but that is a good one.
that's
But
also
it's
really
totally
good.
awesome.
It's totally awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
That's totally awesome.